Working my way to the back, zip tying up all the wiring harness and air lines and everything, and getting back here. We're going to put glad hands back here, which are the actual connection for electric trailer brakes. And I drilled holes in this hitch plate already to use these what are called pass-throughs. So this allows us to put a fitting inside that hole, tighten it up on both sides. You get a serrated washer and a nut on the back. And then we'll put our compression fittings. I don't use push-to-leak connectors. I like a good old-fashioned compression connector. And we'll bring these lines back. Now, currently, we're talking about putting a fifth wheel on here and a gooseneck, which means most of those trailers have an air connection in the front. The ones in the back would be for like a pintle hook or maybe a step deck that has special airline hookups locations, not traditional. So in order for the other ones, for the ones that have the air hookup in the front of the trailer, up ahead of the fifth wheel, we'll tee into these, come out this way to the center, and then those glad hands will have a shutoff valve on them because we'll probably use them less than the ones back here. Same thing with the 7-pin electrical connector. It'll have to come up here as well. For that, we should have it for the gooseneck because most goosenecks, usually come out this way and drop around, but I like to put them up in the front and get it away from all the turning action if we can. So let's get this put together. So I went to go get the glad hands to put them on, and then I realized I had these steel ones. And I'd much rather have steel back here versus brass, because if they're steel, if they break, more than likely this cast aluminum will break before this will. If it's brass, it's kind of a, I don't know, could go either way, I guess. But anyways, now those are in, and I got my fittings, so now we're going to bring these around, and we're going to terminate them. The larger line is going to go to our service line, and our smaller line is to the red for the supply. So the red, when you push in on the red knob for your trailer air supply, what you're doing is charging air to the trailer and filling the tanks. Now once it gets past this into the trailer, there's a check valve so that it can't come back. That way, once the trailer has air for its brakes, because again, the supply goes through and the service side is controlling a relay, which is using the air that's in that tank that was supplied by the red. So once it's in there, it stays there and it can't come backwards. So it's redundant. So if the truck loses brake pressure for here, it can't, or like get a hole in a tank or whatever, you can't backfeed through that hole and lose your air pressure. It's to keep it in the trailer, if that makes sense. Got my air lines finished up. They're all zip tied. I added a couple hangers in different spots just to hold the stuff so it's not rubbing on bolts. And then here I use a split loom clamp to keep it from moving back and forth and rubbing on this edge here, this back of the hitch. And they're zip tied here. Again, I added another hanger there. I don't want anything rubbing and causing a leak or a problem. Next is our lighting. This is the wire that would go all the way to the back of the truck. That'll have your left stop turn tail, right stop turn tail, back up, and probably a ground in here. Now what we needed to do is feed our rear lights on this side, rear lights on this side, our commercial 7-pin, our RV style 7-pin, and then if we're going to put a 7-pin, those same 7-pins, again, we need to bring one of those wires up this way and be prepared for that. Now, I considered just taking that wire, bringing it back here, setting a junction box, and coming out of that, but that creates another junction box where you could have problems. I'd rather have everything at one location if I can. That way, if there's a bad connection, you're not chasing it all over the place. You can literally go from front to back, come back here, take the cover off, okay, and find it, or okay, it's not there, right? Simple is reliable. That's the way I see it. So I don't have the junction box that I want to use. There's a specific one I want to use because I have so many cables coming in and out. So I'm going to go ahead and order that. In the meantime, I'm going to try and figure out what I want to do with my lights on the back. I have been wanting for a long time to run a complete T-bar light, it's called, all the way across on one of my trucks. I'd love to do it on this one, but I don't think it'll look right because I got these corners lopped off, which means I'd have to, make something else in there, and I would like it to kind of sweep out like this on either side. I don't want to just come down flat straight. I'd like it to roll out that way. and I don't think this is the right truck, so maybe next time. This time I think we're going to take this box and we're going to set it right here, at the bottom of this, come from here up and run our lights out this way. So they're a little bit lower than the top of the frame. We can still get our mud flaps in there, but it's not really the look I was after. What are you going to do, you know? I really wish I could do that because I think it would look a lot nicer. I just don't think it's going to look right with that plate. That's how much we waste around here. I got these cut out with a cutting wheel. You can use a plasma cutter or whatever. I just use a cutting disc. It's pretty quick, and then I take a carbide bit and just run it around the inside of it to get all the sharp edges off, so we're not getting cut up and it's not tearing up my grommets. Make sure they fit, and we're ready to move on. I'm going to build the end caps for these for the 3/4 LED lights that'll go in here. And on this side, we're going to build a plate with a bolt top and bottom and a hole for the wiring to go through on the end. Normally, I will weld these to the hitch plate, but in this case, I'm a little concerned about them getting ripped off in the case of a trailer. So I'm going to set them into here, right in about the center of this frame, right in this area. I'm going to drill a hole for the wires to go through and then bolt it on. If we put a trailer on, and I think it's going to be a problem, at least I have the option of unbolting them, at least until I see if it is or isn't going to be. I don't want to ruin all the work that I'm doing for some lights. So let's get started making those. So I'm making my mounting plates. So our tube, our light box, will weld to this. So we need 2 bolts to go into the side of the frame, and then we need 1 hole for the wire to go through. So you can see I was starting to cut this out, and I thought I better hold on a minute, make it easier on myself. So we're going to use the mag drill and some annular cutters so that we can drill this while we have the ability. Otherwise I got to do these in the drill press. So we're going to make 1/2-inch holes here, which is probably more than we need. 3/8 is probably more than adequate, but we're going to go ahead and go with a 1/2-inch hole. When I drill a 1/2 inch, we're going to do 1/2 inch, I'll do a 9/16 annular cutter. And then for the big one, I think I'm going to go ahead with a 3/4 inch hole there. That way, no matter what cable I decide to run in there, or a connector, it'll be able to pass through. So then we'll get these drilled, cleaned up. I'll cut the rest away, and then before we go any farther, we'll want to use them as a template on the frame to mark out our holes. That's it for that. I'll take the bit out and finish cutting these off, which we're going to use the Evolution chop saw for that too, because it just works so well. If you look at this, you can see we've used it a lot because we drill a lot of holes in truck frames and brackets and stuff like that. So, and these are their cutters. These are their Evolution's high-speed cutters. and which I go to 7/16 through 1 1/8 in 16ths, and didn't skip any. So it's a nice little set to have. Okay, we're done with that mag drill, at least for right here. We'll need it on the truck frame once we finish them up. That Evolution saw makes a beautiful cut. Look at that. I had to cut it twice because it wouldn't go through the thickness, so it's got a little imperfection there we'll take care of. Sure didn't take much, did it? This has been shear cut, so you can see this rough edge right here. I'm gonna clean that up. See, watch the shear cut. You have a high spot here at the top, because when it comes in this way, it's going to break it, and it doesn't make it a perfectly straight. It makes it ever so crooked, like it's at an angle.
I can see it.
The other thing about shear cut metal, you got to be careful, because a lot of times it'll get a bow to it. Like this one may have a bow like this a little bit from when they shear it. It's okay. It'll work just fine. You can see it good this way. You see how it kind of... Maybe. Anyways, get it cleaned up. You have to understand too, most everything I build comes out of scrap steel. Okay. This is where we're going in this area. I want to stay away from the radius like I need to, but I want it far enough out that it has enough support. So this frame is 10 and right about 10, so we'll just go 5. It'll be close enough. So if we make that our center of our hole here, and we can line up our other ones like so, because I have center line on it. And make sure I'm centered here. Centered. Keeping my pencil straight. That's funny.
What's funny?
My pencil got off a little bit here, but that's okay. It'll be all right. I can drill our holes for that, for this side. I mean, I could take some more off, but I'll stop right there. This one's okay. Yeah, it's okay too. All right, now we got to get our center hole. So I'm gonna put one. I'm gonna go look and make sure I got them. It'd be nice to have 2 3/4 LEDs right here, wouldn't it? Instead of one.
Whatever you want.
I like lights, lady. I like lights. Let's go see what we got. That'll do. I like it. Okay, we'll do this one.
He's practicing his TIG welding on a couple scraps because he hasn't done it for a little while. He doesn't have to TIG weld it, but he was wanting to, so he's just kind of brushing up on it.
Ain't bad. Ain't bad for a beginner. So I had that set at 125, which is 1 amp per 1,000 of thickness. Not too bad. I'll take it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot better out there that'll do it.
He's just getting the mill scale off of the metal to get it ready to go.
I'm out of argon, so we're going to have to MIG weld this, which is okay. I don't mind. I just wanted to practice a little more TIGs. I haven't done it in, like, God, ever since I think the last thing I TIGged was the fuel tank for Project Exfall. My nozzle is, the tip is sticking out past the nozzle now. I have to get another nozzle. So this is the driver's side, and I need to get a license plate mount here. So I've been laying this out. I want to leave enough room so I can get a 3/4 LED here, just a clear one to light up this this license plate, and I also need to get a couple mounts. So we're going to take this, which was what I cut out from between the two holes. I used the hole saw. We're going to kind of cut this up a little bit and make some mounts that look like this. So I just took them and cut them in half. I'm just going to set it up like this so that our license plate, it'll go on the other side, but you get the gist of it. We'll be able to weld it on like so. So now we need to weld these on.
Let it cool down.
That'll do. Enough room for the weld. Room for light, I think. Light gonna fit. Oh yeah. She's a daisy. Okay, on we go. Well, that turned out better. It's actually laying nicely now. I don't know what was on that. She wiped it down good with acetone. I don't know. Something was just not right. Anyways, it's okay now, so we'll let that dry. Got a couple good coats on it. First, real light, feathery coat, and then a good heavy coat after that, and follow up. Make sure we got everything. Let it dry, and we'll paint it in the morning. Well, I got the first good coat on. We'll let that dry. Jeff's got a doctor's appointment today, so we're going to go do that, and then I'll come back and put another coat on. Looking pretty decent. I don't think I missed any spots. Try to get inside the box tube as well. Just try and keep the rust down to a minimum. All right, my light boxes are dry. I want to put them on and just make sure they're symmetrical side to side. Nothing weird going on, like, you know, crooked this way or up and down or anything like that. I went ahead and ordered my lights from PartsAm. I've been using their lights for a few years now, and I was using their lights, and then they contacted me and gave us a discount code. So now we use that, and you guys can use it as well. I'll put it in here. It's a little discount for anybody that wants their lights. It's kind of cool. Now that I've got these on, I got this out in the daylight. You can see all the runs in the paint. I painted this in the other shop before we actually put up any real lights. So not fantastic, but whatever. It's a work truck. It'll be just fine. So we'll pick up on this next time we do all the wiring. I ordered my junction box as well, so we should have that. We'll get the 7-pin in, both of those, all these lights. Yeah, we'll get a lot to do. So I hope you guys are enjoying this progress and as happy to see this truck getting some work done as I am. I can't wait to have it finished and usable again. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you on the next one. Oh yeah, I gotta go fill my tanks. They're all empty.